Manx Radio Saturday Live Lounge, supported by Villa Gaiety. For the latest What's On information, visit villagaiety.com.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, Jess. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, great, thank you. Because I was just in the studio, so I actually had to run outside. So if it gets too noisy, please let me know, because I can go back inside.
Oh, that's cool. So tell me about what you're doing in the studio then.
So we're recording our 5th track for our EP. So we've done the other 4, and this is the final one that's going to be in the EP, which we should hopefully release start of next year time, so kind of in January. So we're kind of rounding off all of the songs and fingers crossed, I'm getting them sent to mixing and mastering today. But we'll see how the session goes, I guess.
That is so exciting. Well, listen, obviously you're new to us here at Manx Radio, although you're not new to Manx Radio, because as you said, you have listened in the past. Tell us a little bit about CLUCAS then.
Yeah, so CLUCAS is a duo that we started in university. My boyfriend and I met in the first year of university, and it was the first time I'd ever started singing or in front of people. And he said, right, you've got this amazingly raspy voice. I want you to sing for me. I want you to, start performing with me. And I was like, brilliant, we can do that. And slowly over the 3 years, we kind of got more and more confident, and we started picking up gigs. And then at the end of third year, we went, right, well, why don't we start writing our own stuff? And so we did. And we'd previously written some songs in first year and second year, but third year was where we really started. But we always came back to this one track that we'd written, the very first song we'd written together, which was called Speak Easy. And obviously that's now become the debut single for CLUCAS. So yeah, we released that, was it nearly 7 days ago? It was really exciting, and it was nearly exactly 4 years on from when we'd initially met. So it's a kind of a very big full circle for us.
Oh, it's so exciting. And obviously we've immediately put it on the A-list because it's so good.
Yeah,
but how has it been? You're very welcome. How has it been received elsewhere?
Yeah, it's been received really well. I mean, nowhere like the Isle of Man has, the Isle of Man community's like. But it's, funnily enough, it's really big in Tashkent in Uzbekistan, because my boyfriend's also a documentary maker, and he recently made a documentary in Uzbekistan, and he's still got a lot of friends out there. So we were looking through our Spotify where it's being listened, and it's like London, Isle of Man, Tashkent, Uzbekistan. And so we were like, okay, we have a really niche tour coming up of those 3 countries. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So how does it work with the two of you writing together then? Who takes on what kind of role and duty?
I mean, we don't really have any sort of structure. It's usually completely manic of going, okay, we've got a studio session. We haven't written a song for it. What are we going to do? And sometimes it's James sitting down and he writes a poem and I put it to music, or sometimes it's both of us working on it together. But usually what happens is we'll formulate a song together, and then I'll sit down and produce a demo, and then we take it to our producer, Jonathan, and he kind of adds the big oomph that makes it able to be played on radio. But it works in a whole different manner of ways. I honestly don't think there's one formula or one straight way. We've used something different for every song on the EP, so I actually can't tell you.
And it's got a really cool sound. I mean, I'm intrigued to know what you guys listen to. Like, what are some of the things that have kind of inspired you or influenced you, do you think?
Yeah, a real range of music, which is probably why it's odd, our music. It's very strange. No one can quite seem to put it anywhere.
It's very different. I mean, what have other people said about it? How have reviewers kind of described it?
I think they've described it as kind of very Lana Del Rey, a little bit of Billie Eilish, a little bit of CMAT, but there's nothing specific and nowhere it fits quite nicely in. But it's because we both bring a range of influences to our music. So when we were performing live, when we were doing covers in pubs, we used to do a lot of 60s music. So all the like Jerry Lee Lewis stuff and Elvis Presley, Aretha Franklin. I loved that stuff. But James was really big into the Rolling Stones and that kind of era. And I was much more into Billie Eilish and that kind of dark production. And so you get these kind of weird amalgamations of 1970s music with these kind of very pop, dark synths and production style. And it creates this weird mesh that we've enjoyed making, but nobody seems to know what's going on. And to be honest, we don't either.
Well, hey, in today's world, there is a place for every type of music, so you'll be absolutely fine, I'm sure. So is the EP itself going to be pretty varied then?
So we've kind of found our own sonic space through this. Although it's quite a chaotic world that we're in, we're still wholly within it, I think, within the EP. So it all sits in that kind of dark storytelling, heavy production, quite distorted guitars. But it's all come together as one cohesive project, thank God.
That's good to know. And what are your immediate plans then? And you kind of mentioned the idea of potentially touring. Are you going to get it out there, gigging it?
Yeah, well, if the Uzbek fans want it, we'll be out there. But no, hopefully we're going to do a few more gigs around the Oxford area, and then basically just look to get some festivals lined up for the summer. And, you know, if we have the time, we would love to turn this project into a fully fleshed out album. So those are our ambitions that are on the horizon. But right now we're focusing on getting the EP done, and then kind of broadening out to wider things, I guess.
Oh, well, it's super exciting, and I'm hoping you're going to keep us posted. But we mentioned at the top of the interview, obviously, your Isle of Man links. So do you want to give us a bit of a kind of breakdown of what your links to the island are and give anyone a shout out?
Yes, yeah, I guess I should give my mum and dad a shout out. Yeah, no, I was born in England, but I was raised on the Isle of Man. Kind of moved there when I was 5, and I lived in Port Erin. My grandma's always lived in Port Erin, and I then moved to Castletown and moved out when I was 18, classically kind of going to uni. But I've always come back to the island because my family, from on my dad's side, are all Manx. We've got obviously the Manx surname CLUCAS, which is the name of the band. I'm glad has made it into the kind of foreground of our musical career, which is nice.
You're putting us on the map. This is good. Yeah. Do you think did it give you a good sort of musical grounding then, coming from the island?
You know what? Yeah, it did, because I always grew up going to, I don't know if the Secret Pizza's still open. I hope it is. It's an amazing venue.
Sadly. I wish it was.
Oh, that was my favorite, because I always used to see the Manx bands go there. So Voodoo Bandits were a big one. I absolutely love them. They're a great Manx band. But going to Secret Pizza and watching all of their live music was amazing. And there's a massive live music scene now in Castletown. I mean, they put the stage up, I think, every summer, and they always have bands playing. And the TT as well was always such a big influence to going and seeing those concerts. I remember one of my friends, she opened, I think, for Scouting for Girls in a local Manx band. Wow. And I remember thinking, oh my God, that's so cool. That's what I want to be doing. So yeah, absolutely. My Isle of Man roots have definitely helped me kind of come to where I am now.
Well, set your sights high. It's definitely worth it. And the song is obviously doing brilliantly. So fingers crossed, you know, the EP will do the same thing. Yeah. It has been lovely catching up with you. If you come back, will you pop into the studio and see us sometime?
100%, definitely. Thank you so much for talking to me.
You're so welcome. Give us a shout out. So where can we find your music? Where can we get your single? Where can we listen to you?
Yeah, so you can listen to it anywhere you listen to your music, so Spotify, Apple Music, etc. And you just search CLUCAS in all capitals, CLUCAS. I probably don't have to say that for the Manx listeners, but I have to spell it out for everyone else. And it's called Speakeasy, all one word.
Thanks, Jess. Lovely chatting with you.
Cheers, you too.
Manx Radio Saturday Live Lounge, supported by Villa Gaiety.